Hello, welcome to the Lim Simple Business Academy. My name is Ezekiel Solesi. I'm the founder of the Lim Simple Business Academy and also the Lim Simple Company Limited. We provide simplified, technical, inspirational, and motivational information to help businesses and individuals make deliberate improvements in their lives and businesses. Right? So today I'm going to be running you through our employee to entrepreneur transition course. Now, this course is for people who currently are holding down a job and they intend to be able to, become entrepreneurs or full-time entrepreneurs at some point in the future, and they've, seriously considered leaving their jobs, and wanting to plunge into the world of entrepreneurship. And so I'm going to be helping you make the transition, because sometimes we've seen people who just jump in and then they jump out because they didn't plan properly. And the reason why this course is important is because it's two different worlds, right? I mean, the world of the entrepreneur, as funny as it sounds, is completely different from the world of the employee. And I intend to help you make that shift mentally, right? Okay, so the first question I'd like to ask you is, what do you really want? Because if you're thinking about entrepreneurship is currently being attractive to you, then it means that you want something, right? You want something you're currently not getting where you are. Maybe you have a dream, you have things that you want to achieve, and what I really want to help you understand here is to focus on what you really want, not what you think you can get. Because that's what happens to us as we grow, right? If you ask a young child what he wants, when he grows up, you ask a 15, 13, 12-year-old child, he talks about, grand stuff. Maybe you ask him what kind of car you want to drive. He says, I want to drive a Maserati, or any of these really nice, fast cars, right? But as he grows older, gets his first job, gets his second job, he's earning, quite well now. Let's assume this person is a Nigerian. He decides to check out the Maserati, goes online, checks it out. It's $2.2 million. It doesn't really ring a bell until he converts it to Naira. And it's 786 million naira. So he gets a good idea, that a car is a device that moves you from point A to point B, and a Toyota wouldn't be bad, right? And it happens to most of us. What happens as we grow older, we start to settle for what we think we can get, and successful people take what they can get while they keep going for what they really want, while everybody else just settles. So what I want to do is sort of help you find clarity on exactly what you want, and then we'll take it up from there, right? So from our studies, we realize that people want different things. Some people want financial freedom, and we sort of know what financial freedom is instinctively, whether we can calculate it or not. That, it's somehow being able to do what you want, when you want, how you want, be able to afford whatever you want, and not have to bother about how much it costs. So, I mean, most of us sort of get that, right? Some people want to, make a lot of money so that they can contribute to society. They want to be able to be a part of what's happening around the world. They want to be able to give to people. They want to give to a good cause. They want to be able to donate to their churches, their mosques, their NGOs. Some people want to make a lot of money because they want peace of mind. They're not interested in saving the world. They just want to make as much money as they think they need. I mean, think about it, right? If you were making as much money from something else right now as you do from your job right now, that thing can take your job, isn't it? But more than that is that you would not be afraid of losing your job, because you would only come to work because you want to, not necessarily because you have to. Because human beings, we sort of like to work. I tell people, look, if you have all the money in the world right now, you think you're not going to work, you'll be bored to your pants in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Or some of us were, monumentally lazy, will be bored in 6 months. However, what happens to human beings is that we want to work, we just don't want to have to work. So being able to make enough money that we think we're okay would sort of give us peace of mind, right? And some people want to build assets, some people want good health. Good health is not cheap. I mean, if you know that already, it's not exactly cheap. Some people want good quality education. Some people want to retire in style, and I have to explain this because most people don't particularly think about this factor, right? Because I do quite a number of trainings in corporate organizations and banks and the likes, and usually I talk to people about what a retirement plan is. And most people are like, don't worry, we already have that covered with the PFA and all that, and that's great. It's important that you have one, but it's also important for you to know exactly what you're getting. Because if you understand what you're getting, you'll probably be able to prepare better for it. And I'd like to give you an analogy. Right? Imagine that you have a job right now. Imagine that your job right now allows you to put away 50,000 naira to your retirement account, right? Every single month, you could put away 50,000 naira. Now, in a year, that would be 600,000, isn't it? Yeah, great. So let's assume that you could also do that for the next 20 years of your life. You could do that 20 years, right? Now, and you had some form of a pension fund situation that gives you 10% guaranteed interest on your contribution. Now, if you had that, if you had 600,000 a year, you could do that for 20 years. You had 10% guaranteed interest. So that means you would get 10% guaranteed interest. You get 20 years of savings. You get 600,000 a year. Then you get something extra called compounding interest. If you put all those figures together, when you do retire, you'll be looking at about 32.2 million, and that's a huge sum of money. Most people would not pass on an opportunity to be able to have that kind of income at some point in their future when they're not able to work as hard anymore. And that's the reason why we have to put our money in this pension fund arrangement. However, Robert Kiyosaki says that there are three sides to every story. There's the side you're told, there's the side you believe, and then there's the truth. How many of us would like to hear the truth right now? Okay, so let's go. Now, the truth is that all things being equal, you will get the 32.2 million there, thereabout. But the real truth is the question of what it will be worth in 20 years. And that's the big question I want to help you answer today. Because that's the problem. We're being sold tomorrow on today's excitement. Right? So to understand exactly what it will be worth, we need to go back to a previous year. So we'd go back to, let's say, a year like 1986, right? Or 1985. Now, in Nigeria, in 1985, if my dad had 3,500, he could buy a brand new car. And trust me, for those of us who are millennials, 3,500 was a huge, it's not the kind of money where you go visit your uncle and he wants to give you back pocket change and he gives you, look, enter boss. And, no. 3,500 in some cases was a civil servant's annual salary. So if somebody had 3,500, he had to have saved a lot of money. And that could buy him a brand new car. So let's assume my dad's going to buy a brand new car. It's 1985. His friend says, no, don't put that money in the brand new car. You could put that money in some savings, and then get 10% guaranteed interest. And you know what will happen in 20 years if you did that every year? So he decided to do that, right? You put 3,500 every year. You get 20 years of savings. You get 10% guaranteed interest. It gets compound interest. The same factor that produced 32 million, but in this case, it'd have 224,600. Now, that's a lot coming from 3,005, but in 2024, you'll get that 224,600 in 2005. So 224,600, 2005, that won't buy him a brand new car. That won't buy him a fairly used car. That won't even buy him a useless car. Why? Because financial experts tell us that even though saving is a good habit, it's a very bad strategy. Because you're saving something that is losing value faster than it's getting numbers. All right? So that's very important. That's the reason why when I ask people about retirement, I'm not asking you what you're handing out to somebody to help prepare your retirement. I'm talking about what you're doing for yourself. And that's why we're told that it's better to save up for an investment than to save up as an investment. What that means is that you put up the money together, you buy a house. You put the money together, buy an investment. Put the money together, start a business. Instead of making sure that all you're doing is just putting the money as an investment. Because if you put the money as an investment, what's happening is that you're doing exactly what the pension fund guy would do. And at the end of the day, he'll get money. It'll seem like a lot of money, but it will have lost a lot of its value, if not all of its value, over that extended period of time, right? So that's retirement in style. So if you're the kind of guy who wants to retire in style, I'm talking about sitting on the beach off the coast of Costa Rica or Bahamas, explaining to your grandson why your life is so awesome, then you want to do a lot more than just do the pension fund, right? So that sort of establishes the kind of things that we want, right? So once you're sure about what you want, the question would then be, why entrepreneurship? Why do you think entrepreneurship can get you there? Right? Why do you think entrepreneurship can get you there? Right? And, different reasons why we want to be entrepreneurs. Some of us want to be entrepreneurs because we want to follow our passion. Some of us We want to be entrepreneurs because we think we can make a lot more money. Some of us, whatever reason you want to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to share with you quite a number of reasons in modules coming much later. However, I want to share one reason why you shouldn't start your business. So one reason why you shouldn't start your business is that you currently hate what you do right now. Now, let me explain. A lot of us, we sort of use starting our business as some form of an escape route to get out, and start doing what we really love. But I'll tell you one thing for free: love what you do right now. Why is that important? It's important because everything you do, you're programming yourself. Now, I'm not saying that, I tell people all the time that, it's one of two things. You either have to do what you love or you love what you do. Now, as I assume that the reason why you don't love it right now is because you're not doing what you love. However, it's important to love what you do, because loving what you do would put you in a good place emotionally so that you can be productive and one day get to do what you love. But more than that is really the power of habit. Because if you don't love what you do, and I'm not saying love it because it's the best place for you. I'm saying love it because it pays your bills right now. I mean, you earn some money, it pays your bills. Love it because it's the reason why people don't think you're irresponsible right now. I mean, think about yourself right now. You're sitting at home every single day. You have neighbors, and you're married, you're a man, you're sitting at home, or you're a woman, you're sitting at home, just chilling. Chances are people are going to think you're irresponsible, right? So love it because it's the reason why people don't think you're irresponsible right now. Love it because it gives you an opportunity to meet some amazing people. I'm sure even if you hate everybody at work, there'll be one person that, that's sort of like a likable, nice person that you like to work with, right? Love it because it's the reason why your children can go to school right now, or the reason why you can pay the rent right now. It's the reason why. Love it for all of those reasons. Right? Why is that important? Because anytime we love something, we put a lot of effort into it. And here's what: if you spend 10 years working at a job that you hate, what you would have done, more than not working on something that you hate, is that you would have educated yourself on how not to put in the best of your ability in anything you're doing. And guess what? When you start a business, it's not going to change overnight. You're not just going to switch and then from employee to CEO and then now suddenly become very passionate and work really hard. No. Most entrepreneurs in this country are lazy. And the reason why they are lazy is not because they're not passionate. It's because they spent the last 5, 10, 15 years of their life not putting in their best, with an excuse that they're not doing what they love. And then they suddenly start a business, and it's all of a sudden very difficult, if not impossible, for them to be able to do everything that it takes. So please, there are many reasons why you should start a business, but one reason why you should not start a business is because you hate what you currently do. So you need to develop love for it. And remember, the love for it doesn't have to be a love for the thing that you're doing. It could be a love for what it's enable you do. Do we get it now? Okay, so once we've gotten that out of the way, the next question would be, is entrepreneurship for you? Because there's an entrepreneurship timeline of thinking and there's an employee timeline of thinking, right? And the entrepreneur lives in a different time zone from the employee, right? So typically think about it this way, and this is a very, 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 very massive change, right? The employee works and gets paid in 30 days, right? The entrepreneur only gets paid when business pulls through. It's a completely, it can be frustrating when people just start their own businesses because, the entrepreneur only gets paid when the business pulls through. It takes 30 days to get paid as an employee. Oftentimes it takes longer. Sometimes it takes years for you to get paid as an employee, right? The employee thinks in terms of time for money. So the employee thinks you're calculating how much time you're putting in, and that's determining how much money you're getting. But the entrepreneur thinks primarily in terms of performance for money, right? So the entrepreneur only gets paid when he performs, when he solves a problem, and the employee, when he works 5 to 10 years, he gets about 10 to 100% income increase at best. It depends. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a less. I've seen some people work for 5 years and not get any single raise at their jobs, but I've seen some people, high flyers, they work 5 years, 10 years, and they're earning about twice the amount of money that they used to earn, or 3 times the amount of money that they used to earn. But if you take that same spirit into entrepreneurship, you could work 5 to 10 years and you get 500 to 30,000%. So if you look at, for example, a company like Amazon has been around for about 20 years, and it's zero 20 years ago, and now it's one of the most valuable companies in the world. The owner is the richest man in the world, over 130 billion dollars right now. I mean, it's completely crazy what it's been able to achieve in that period of time. However, in the first 5 years, the first 10 years, the first 15 years, it didn't look like it. Tony Robbins says we overestimate what we can achieve in a year or two, and we grossly underestimate what we can achieve in a decade or two. Right? So you need to think about it when you're trying to get into business. You need to think about, am I the type of person who can handle how an entrepreneur thinks, right? Okay. So entrepreneurship might seem like a better option, and that's a fact, but it isn't an easier option. And that's one thing I want to be able to help you see. So that's why you have to be ready. That's why I asked, are you ready? Because it might seem like a better option, and I should say this, right? It's not a better option for everybody. It's a better option for some people, and the beautiful thing is that you get to decide if it's a better option for you. But the truth is this: it is not an easier option. The entrepreneur has to oftentimes work harder, has to take up more responsibility, has to do a lot of worrying, has to have a lot of faith, just think about everything that an employee has and multiply it by 100 or 1,000. That's what the entrepreneur has to have. However, it might seem like a better option. You're seeing your friends, they're looking like they're balling, and they're working. It looks like everything is working out for them, and then you're just having to go to your job and all that. Hey, it might seem like a better option, but it's not exactly an easy option, right? And why is that? Because the entrepreneur sometimes works for years before it pays off. But when it pays off, it really does. So take a look at, Jeff Bezos. Now it's paid off. He's the richest man in the world. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Dangote, Otedola, all of these guys, Davido, all of these entrepreneurs, sometimes they've had to work for years. I heard about Wizkid, and I heard that he'd been going to the studio since he was 13, and if memory doesn't fail me, I think he became some form of a hit at about 18 or so. So, just think about the fact that, let's assume, and it is a business, Wizkid as a person is a business, right? So think about, he's been working hard since he was 13 to 18. It's about 5-6 years. And even when he became known, it hadn't really broken even. So, it became like a global or a continental phenomenon when he became Starboy. So just look at all of that, right? Look at all of that timing, almost 10 years of his life working out, but when you paid off, you really did, isn't it? So the thing is, entrepreneurs sometimes work for years, so why is it important to note this? Because one of the things that I'm going to be helping you do is to help you plan adequately for the world of entrepreneurship, right? So do not quit your job yet. Why is that important? Because oftentimes business costs more than you thought, and it takes longer than you planned. I tell people that it's amazing to have a business plan, and trust me, if you're going to start a business, you need to have a business plan, But you need to also understand that sometimes there's a huge difference between a business plan and business practice, and so you have to be flexible. You need to realize that at the very best, a business plan is riddled with all sorts of assumptions. And remember that they say assumptions is the lowest level of intelligence, but it's riddled with all sorts of assumptions. You assume that people would like your product. You assume that people would buy from you. You assume that you make 100 million in the first year. You assume that you make 100 million in the third year. You assume that you make 5 million in the fifth year. All of these assumptions, right? You intend to work for those assumptions to be true, but again, things could change, right? Isn't it? So it's important to plan, and especially if you're somebody who already has responsibilities. You have, bills to pay. I'm going to show you how to be able to deal with the transition if you're a family man who has bills to pay, how to be able to deal with the transition if you're single and you have no wives, no children, no girlfriend, and you're just trying to hustle your own way out, or you currently don't have dependents. What I mean by dependents, you're not personally currently responsible for taking care of your parents. It's just you, it's just you against the world. I'll teach you exactly how you're supposed to handle that, right? So, the question I have for you now as I close this module, what I've taken you through is just the first 2 modules. There are about 6 modules left. Would it be okay for me to guide you into starting your own business? Would it be okay for me to work you through over a period of time, teach you some of the things that you need to know, and then also work with you over the next 4, 5, 6 months to be able to make that transition? Right? Would it be okay? I'm going to be hosting a 2-week training, 4 training days in 2 weeks. It's going to be over WhatsApp. I'm going to be sharing a couple of things, but it's going to be a combination of video and Q&A. So I'm going to be recording trainings like this. You're going to watch it for a day. The next day we're going to do some answering Q&As. I'm going to be talking to people one-to-one. To make sure that everybody gets it. And I'm going to be helping you calculate your personal expense. Why is that important? Because it's important for you to know exactly how much it takes for you to go through every single month, so that you can have that in mind as you go into your business, and also plan that as you exit. I'm going to be showing you the top 3 skills you need to acquire before starting your business. There are a lot of skills that you need to acquire before starting your business. A lot of them will be specific to the kind of business you want to start, but there are top 3 universal skills that you have to have. You must get those skills before you even thinking about getting out into the business world. If you don't have those skills and you get into the business world, you're done. Nothing is going to work out for you, right? I'm going to help you to plan a thoughtful transition mentally and financially, showing you 3 ways to exit. And these 3 ways will be determined the way you decide to exit will be determined by where you are at your life right now, in terms of responsibility wise, in terms of finances, in terms of risk appetite rather, right? I'm going to be sharing with you the passion versus profit philosophy. I'm going to be showing you I'm going to be helping you understand the global debate about pursuing your passion versus pursuing profit, and I'm going to share with you my philosophy about how to deal with both of them. And I'm also going to be guiding you through that journey for a 6-month period, right? So would you love me to be a part of your life in helping you make this transition? I have worked with quite a number of people who've made transitions, and in all fairness, I've seen some people make a transition. I've walked through and seen some people make a transition from entrepreneurship to business, and in the first, by the second year, the business did over 100 million. I have seen people make transition, and by the second year, they didn't make that much money. So, trust me, and they didn't make any money at all. So, I'm not just going to, throw figures at you like you're going to get up there and then you're just going to run into the bank as you run out of your office. No, it's not. It depends on what you want to get into. It depends on how early you are in the trend. It depends on how prepared you are to work. It depends on quite a number of things that we will deal with when you get into that class. And it's also going to be you working with quite a number of people, right? So, what's going to be the cost? Usually my coaching program costs a lot more. People who know me know that. However, because it's going to be a WhatsApp class, I could just quickly run with a number of you, and I'm going to try my best to offer you the same service that I would have offered my coaching class as a group, and it'll cost you just $35,450 for the 2 weeks class. And then those of us who want to then be a part of my coaching and all of that, we can have a discussion much later. But I'm going to be offering you all of the things that I think you'll need over that period of time for a paltry sum of $35,450. Okay. And what you get, you're also going to be getting my book called The Entrepreneur with the Power to Change Our World. It's the simplest book on entrepreneurship you will ever read, even if I say so myself. I'm going to be giving you a list of business audiobooks, perhaps worth over 50,000 there. I'm going to be helping you with business advisory. I'm going to be doing a 20-minute business coaching and strategy call with each person who joins this group. and I'm going to be working with every one of us to be able to succeed, right? So if you're interested, follow the link to join a group for registration details, or you could send a WhatsApp message to the number on your screen, and we'll take it up from there, right? So the class would start in about 2 weeks, and I'm going to be running it periodically. But if you want to be a part of this particular class, it'll be great for you to join very, very quickly, and send a message to that, and I'll let you know if one is currently running and or if one is about to start, right? Thank you so much for your time. Thanks a lot for taking 25 plus minutes of your time to take a look at this class. I hope it's been worth it for you. I hope you've learned a lot. I hope that I see you in the class that will be starting in a bit. Have a great day. Bye-bye.